Copy in orbit.
Discovery 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
you for joining us today for this matchup between the California Golden Bears and the Purdue Boilermakers. My name is Josh Chen, graduated, proud grad of the Lacrosse program in 2019. Joined today in the booth by Finn Mayer, Lacrosse legend, former captain, graduated in 2023. Finn, how are we doing today?
Good, Josh. It's good to be here. We've got a beautiful day of California weather, about 50 degrees and a lot of rain clouds in the sky, just what you want out of Berkeley, California at this time of year.
Exactly. We're excited to welcome the Purdue Boilermakers to the field today as we do our national anthem. We'll step aside for a sec. Cal Golden Bears are excited to welcome the Purdue Boilermakers here today for this matchup, this interdivision matchup. Purdue, located in Lafayette, Indiana, and this Boilermakers team making the long journey here from Indiana. Cal comes in as 15th ranked team in the nation, 3-2. With a quality win last week against 10th ranked Simon Fraser. This Purdue Boilermakers team still searching for their first win of the season. They're out of the Upper Midwest Lacrosse Conference, or the UMLC, and they're 0-3 so far to start. Finn, I guess for you and for coming into a matchup like this for this Cal team against a team that's traveled a long way, what are some of your keys to this game for the Golden Bears? What are you looking for the start?
You know, I think they need to jump out, really come out firing across the board. Hale Brown at the faceoff X should help with that. He was on fire last week against Simon Fraser. Really just pedal to the metal on offense, kind of try to take control early on. And the Cal Bears have seen the injury bug on the defensive end of the field. They have some former shorties stepping in at pole, so we'll look for those guys to step up and shut down the Boilermakers on that side.
Definitely. And for these Boilermakers, right, and come a long way from Indiana. I know that this team, their mascot is a train, and from past experience, I know they like to take the train all the way across the country. That's a long journey. How do you sort of shake off the travel? How do you get started on a fast note here?
You know, it's always tough coming on a long trip to an away game, but these guys seem pretty fired up. They have a deep bench, so that should help with some rusty legs potentially. But really, it's more of a mental game than anything at that point.
Definitely. And we're off. Hale Brown with a procedural win there on the face-off. And the Bears will get their first crack at offense here. Isaac Jaro with the dodge. Another dodge for Jaro. Bagwell will have a go. Oh, that's a great look inside. Jaro finding Oace for the goal. That was a quick one there, Finn.
Yeah, we love to see that. Jump out to an early lead off the procedural on the face-off. Good ball movement on the offense and really attacking towards the goal to start things off and getting a nice look down by the crease there.
That was a really great look there. I think Oa's sort of crept in behind the 2-slide there. Its 2-slide was back on crease. Jaro drew the slide. They're able to move it and score. You love to see that first possession getting a quick one there. Back at the X. It's going to be a win for Brown. Curran comes up with it. Got our first look at the second line midfield here. It's Cole Sultan with the ball. And it's a save for Purdue's goalie, number 3, Michael Janetta. Dangerous pass there. And there's a flag down. The Boilermakers are able to clear, and it looks like they'll get a free possession here. Let's see what they do with it. Robert Schenk with the ball. Shot there from Andrew Davison. And now we'll get our administrative penalty here.
Good job by the Cal defense there, kind of forcing the Dodger out of the alley and denying that throw back into a step-down shot, keeping that shot from the outside where our starting goalie is looking to gobble those up.
Starter in goal for the Bears today. In goal is Cody Wiebe, who had a stellar game last week. Some of his highlights, one of his highlights included a entire field assist. That's a goal there on the man up by Logan Smith. He's an attackman, and he's the Boilermakers' leading goal scorer right now. That's his 4th tally on the year. Man-down situations are always tough. But I think Finn there, one of the things that you'd like to see potentially is maybe a little bit more rotation to the leading goal scorer for the Boilermakers top middle there.
Yeah, I think that really comes down to scout and being able to identify those playmakers and get out with a little bit more pressure when they have the ball, denying those open looks for them. A little bit of a scrap here on the faceoff. Nice goose from the Boilermakers.
Jake Lemieux is the Boilermakers face-off man today. He's got his hands full, but he did well to sort of scrap and come away with that one there. And it's a crafty goose. Logan Smith, who just scored. It looks like he's starting to come out of the midfield. He's listed on the Boilermakers roster as an attackman. We'll see if the Bears can identify him. Number 16 there. We get a turnover here. Bears will now try and clear. Schultz with the ball.
And we talked about identifying matchups on that man up. Good to see Ethan Pavlet picking up number 6 on the Boilermakers there, getting really our top defensive guy on their top offensive guy. Nice clear by the Cal Bears.
Chrisman does well to handle the pressure there and dumps it off. Bagwell with the ball now. Let's see this Cal offense go to work again. It's a turnover there. Boilermakers will try and clear. It's number 88, Heiberger, forcing the turnover. He's a captain for the Boilermakers. Successful clear there. Seems like some nerves early here, Finn. And a couple of quick turnovers on those possessions, going back and forth, up and down the field a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes it can take a bit to get settled in. A couple unforced turnovers early on for the Cal Bears, but we'll look for them to really get in the groove over the course of the game.
Big shot there from Jared Meltzner. Goes out, and the Boilermakers retain possession. Shot there by Van Overberg. I've been waiting to say his name all day. Number 8. He's the captain for the Boilermakers. Weeb up to the challenge, making the stop, and the Bears clear. It looks like unsettled situation here. And a goal! Bagwell there with the goal. Off the unsettled situation. Boilermakers seem to be stuck in substitution there, or some type of miscommunication defensively. It seemed like they were down a man.
Good job by the Cal Bears getting the ball upfield quickly. I know clearing as well as riding was a big point of emphasis for Coach Webster this week in practice. Good to see them pushing the tempo against this Boilermaker squad early.
Procedural penalty that time against Hale Brown. And Boilermakers will get the ball here. Scores 2-1. Cal is up. And a turnover here. Boilermakers throw it away. Chrisman will pick it up and try and clear. Chrisman draws a flag there.
That should be another flag coming in.
It's a great heads-up play there by Chrisman, drawing the penalty, moving it. Now the Bears will settle and get a free possession themselves. Luke Dumont with the dodge. That'll be a 1-minute penalty for a cross check on number 34, Jared Meltzner. We were just talking about him at the offensive end. Commits a penalty there. We'll now do some time in the sin bin.
First look at the Bears EMO of today. I'd keep my eye out on number 6, Nathan Fredericks, and number 7, Lucas Bear here. Two big shooters kind of sitting on both top corners. Lucas Bear, a Baltimore product. And there we have it. Goal from the Cal Bears.
It's a goal there. Chris Burke sneaking in from X with the feed from Isaac Jarrow. That was almost a little bit too easy in a way, I felt like. It didn't seem like the Purdue Boilermakers really rotated much on defense there. Burke had a really open shot there. He just snuck in from X.
Josh, I thought in my last season as a 24-year-old player on this roster, I'd probably be the oldest player in Cal Lacrosse history. I think Chris Burke might be taking that title away from me this year. Do you have the stats on how old that guy is?
I do not have the stats on his age. I can go and find that for us. Maybe we can get our stat guy on it at the halftime.
But, he brings a lot of experience and is looking pretty crafty on their offense starting at attack today.
Definitely. The Bears have pushed their lead to 3-1, trying to play make it, take it lacrosse, winning the face-off. Bagwell will have a go here. It's a good move. And a turnover. Bears will try and ride it back here. Ball with Owen Constant, captain defender. Dumps it off. Ball's back with Boilermakers up top. Dodging a shot there. from Robert Shank. Goes wide, and Boilermakers retain possession. Another shot there from Andrew Davison. Wide again. Shank will have another go here. Wolber's up to the task, forcing a ground ball there. Let's see who comes up away with it. Boilermakers do.
Really great defense by Ty there behind. You always get a little bit nervous having a shorty dodged on from X, but as you said, he was up to the task, getting the ball on the ground. Unfortunately, the Boilermakers come up with it, but good job on killing that play from number 44.
Low time here on the shot clock. That's great defense there by the Bears. The Boilermakers uncomfortable that entire possession, it felt like, and really forced up a shot at the end there. Weeb with the easy save. Now let's see if the Bears can clear. Wolber brings it across. He gets ambushed from behind. Finn, I'm sure you know the feeling where bringing the ball over, I've had this happen many times to me. Guy comes out of nowhere from behind you. You would love for your teammates to let you know about that if that's imminent and about to happen to you.
Yeah, I think it also comes down to a sense of urgency. You may get the feeling once you've cleared the ball over the midline that your job is near completion, but really we'd love to see that ball get down to an open attackman or another offensive player on that end of the field. Really clear out any danger of a guy creeping up from behind you.
Definitely want to finish the play. That defensive possession, it doesn't hurt the Bears, and they're able to clear. Ball's with Bayer. Ball's back down on the dirt. Picked up by the Boilermakers. Ball's back to Janetta.
Good job riding by the Bears there, forcing actually an unforced turnover by the Boilermakers, but credit the Bears on riding and causing some confusion on that possession.
Bayer with the dodge. And a goal. Wow, he snuck that one in there right over Janetta's shoulder. Bayer unassisted with that one.
That's why you recruit guys from Baltimore, Josh. You know, they can just pull plays like that out of nowhere.
Bears out of McDonough, is that right? And
That's right.
The high school of Cal lacrosse legend Bert Schmickel.
Great program over there, McDonough, in the county outside of Baltimore. They produce a lot of great talent over the years, and glad to have Lucas out here in California.
Infraction against the Bears, and that'll be face-off awarded to Purdue. We'll see Purdue's second-line midfield here. Stogg still with the dodge. It's a great slide there by Joel Yamada coming across the crease. As a defender, you love those. Love lining those up.
He's not the biggest guy on the field, but he really brings the hammer on a lot of slides, big hits. Love to see it out of him. Reminds me a little bit of you, Josh, back in the day.
Easy save there by Weeb. This ball to Pavlet. To Chrisman. Does a good job of spinning away from pressure there. Brower with it now. Pressure there being applied by Wyatt Bucky for the Boilermakers. The Boilermakers are very experienced on defense. I think 3 senior captains in the defense there, and they have a breakdown. Thor Oace sneaks in there with the goal. That's his second of the day, I believe. Bears lead his balloon now to 5-1. Finn, how much of that last possession there and some of the mistakes that we're seeing from the Boilermakers do you attribute to just fatigue and not being able to clear the ball, having a hard time at the face-off X? How much of that sort of compounds on itself there?
Yeah, you know, they have a big roster, so I wouldn't expect fatigue to play in that much early on. But as we talked about earlier, it might be some of the kind of rust from the long travel from Purdue all the way out here to California. You can see some mental breakdowns on the defensive end, really letting up that low corner, letting guys sneak into that space, and Cal is able to capitalize on it early.
Turnover there by the Boilermakers, and Cal look to clear, and they do. Sultan with the ball. I'm sure if you're head coach Dan Somm for the Boilermakers, one of the things that you must be stressing to your team at this coming quarter break here must be the turnovers. Is that right, Finn?
Yeah, I think that's right. And really on the defensive end, keeping your head on a swivel. I see them kind of overplaying Nate Fredericks, rightfully so. He's a big playmaker for the Cal Bears, but as soon as you get kind of too drawn in on one player, you're bound to be letting up open looks on the backside. So I'm sure he'll be stressing kind of keeping your eyes up and making sure you're covering the full field on the defensive end.
Turnover there by the Bears. Boilermakers will look to clear following that scrum. We'll get a shot clock reset here. Weeb with the laser there. Straight to Burke. Gets it to Oace. Oh, and Burke just misses.
Nice little give and go there. You just gotta look that one all the way in when you're shooting.
Burke there with a mental error, stepping over the midline. Really didn't have to there, but.
You know, it can sometimes be hard on this field that is only 90 yards in length end to end. Can get a little bit confusing looking at the lines and the numbers compared to a standard football field.
It's a great point there, Finn. The Bears will go man down here for the first time today. Beg your pardon, this is the second time they'll be man down today. The first time, Logan Smith, number 16, scored from top middle. I think the Bears will probably be trying to look to prevent that from happening again. And there's Weeb with the save. Gets it to Curran.
A lot of hacking going on there from the Boilermakers.
Van Overberg trying to play baseball. A goal there by Jaro on the free possession.
Nice jump shot by Jaro there. He's looking like prime Kyle Harrison back in his Hopkins days. Kind of started the jump shot trend, so we love to see that.
all of that starts with a great dodge and getting top side there, right, Finn? Increasing your angle.
Yeah, and great look from the offense, getting the ball across the field where the defense may have not been ready to pick up that slide, letting Jaro get kind of a full head of steam there. And as you said, increasing his angle, getting a wide look at the goal for that shot.
Win there by Brown. Short time here, right about 15 seconds left in the quarter. Let's see if the Bears will get one quick look here. They may just hold for their possession here going into the quarter. It's the end of the first quarter there. The Bears up 6-1, and we'll get the ball to start the second quarter as they had possession while there was a penalty as the quarter expired.
Yeah, it's fine.
Finn, I guess what are your first impressions so far? Cal has come out and played pretty dominantly this first quarter. What are some things that you're seeing from the Golden Bears that have allowed them to really so far take a stranglehold of this game?
Yeah, no, I think on the offensive end of the field, just having a sense of urgency in their dodges, really kind of opening up the defense and allowing them to keep their heads up and get those looks to the backside for easy goals. Guys giving up what might be a decent shot for a kind of slam dunk down low. Would love to see more of that out of them as the game progresses, and I think Coach Webster in this huddle is going to be harping on just cleaning up some of those avoidable mistakes, passes thrown out of bounds, some stick work stuff, procedural penalties on the face-off. I know Webb is big on the little things, and the little things matter, so hopefully we'll see the Cal Bears kind of clean it up as the game goes forward.
There's going to be a pretty quick restart here in between quarters. If you're the Boilermakers and you're trying to regroup a little bit, you've just rolled off the train, and you find yourself down 6-1 at the start of the second quarter of this game. What are you telling your guys? How do you get them back into this game here?
Yeah, I think they've done a nice job of bringing the intensity early on. In some instances, maybe a little bit too much with a few penalties against them thus far. I think as their coach, just keeping the pedal to the metal and keep looking for good looks. They've taken some shots from really far out wide, probably emphasizing getting the ball around a little bit more, trying to find a better shot to take, and just know that keep working and things may start falling your way, but we'll look for the Bears to keep denying that.
All right, second quarter about to get underway here. Bear with the ball, top right. Oh, shot there from Fredericks off the feed by Chris Burke. That was a great look again. Feed inside and a goal. That's Thor O'Hace again with his third of the day. Feed there from Fredericks. On the replay here, you see the Boilermakers sort of just not really fully paying attention to Thor there on the crease. O'Hace, he's got that hockey background, very comfortable around the goal, knows what to do with it when he gets the ball in that dangerous position there.
And he's a scrappy player, and we talked about the little things. He's someone that's put in a lot of effort in ground balls, riding, stick work, all the stuff that makes a great player that may not go as noticed as scoring goals every 15 seconds. So really good to see him get his shot here in the starting offense and really capitalizing on that opportunity.
He may not be scoring every 15 seconds, but by nature of having a hat trick already, he's scoring at a pretty good pace. He's about once every 5 minutes and 15 seconds so far. He's putting one in the back of the net. So,
yeah, and as the Boilermakers there on man-down defense, I think they're getting, again, a little bit over-concentrated on some of these big shooters on the outside, and they really need to pack it in, deny those closer looks that are easier shots for the Cal offense.
Fredericks there with the shot off the pipe.
It's looking like prime Jake Pistotnik out there. Fun fact, Jake Pistotnik was his offensive coach for a season at Piedmont High School, so good to see some of that rubbing off. But Nate Fredericks has really been a dominant player for the Golden Bears early in this season.
Like you mentioned, Finn, Fredericks is the leading goal scorer for the Bears. He's got 20 tallies so far in the year, looking to add another. Brower with the ball now. The Bears will get it back around. Jaro with the shot. Just wide. Burke will start the offense from X. Looks like they're setting up a dodge here for Bagwell. Shorty on shorty behind. Bagwell lost a glove there. Ref will be nice enough to let him put it back on. Reset things a little bit here. Fredericks will have a go here against a shorty. It's a great move. Shot just wide. Ten seconds left on the shot clock. Burke with it. Great slide there by the Boilermakers. See if they can clear here. Successful clear. Boilermakers will slow it down a little bit. That was a great defensive possession there by the Boilermakers, Finn. I think that's exactly what Coach Dan Somm is looking for coming out of the quarter.
Yeah, really, really nice job sliding on their part, denying those both opportunities to shoot coming from a dodge at X as well as feed from the Cal offense. So nice work on their part and good job getting the ball upfield. I know sometimes you may be tempted to really push the tempo in a fast break, especially when you're down, try to capitalize on those opportunities, but I'm sure the Boilermaker defensemen appreciate them slowing it down a bit, avoiding a potential for an early turnover in this offensive possession.
Meltzner there with the shot. Looks like he draws the flag against Schultz. It'll be a hold for 30 seconds. Schultz getting the explanation from the official there. Some shot clock administrative work going on here. 75 seconds remaining on the shot clock after that reset. Oh, it's a shot there by Van Overberg. I believe he has the best last name on this Purdue team. He's trying to make up for that penalty he committed earlier. Senior captain attackman.
You know, you'd really like to see a little bit more movement before taking a shot like that from 20 yards out. And a turnover by the Boilermakers is going to go to the Bears.
Love to see that diving effort there from Robert Schenk. The ball was out of bounds as he started his dive, but you love to see it.
You know, that's just pure grit on his part.
Cal offense rolling out their second line midfield. Dumont with it to Salton.
Nice job killing the penalty there by the Bears. Would like to see a little bit more aggression out of Purdue, especially when you have a man up on the defensive end, but Cal able to kind of swing the ball around and kill that clock.
Bear with the feed inside to Dumont. Wow, one-handed shot there. Just over the crossbar. Bears will retain possession. Cole Salton looks very, very hungry for the ball out here. Bear with the shot outside. Janetta will look to clear. Ball to Constant. Forcing a turnover there. Sultan. He'll pick it up and go with it. The second line midfield for Cal is extremely potent. Cole Sultan last week had 3 goals in the first quarter, doing what Thor always did today.
You know, it's a good problem to have 2 really solid lines of midfielders where they can really just be interchangeable in terms of who's going to pull away and have a great game in any given game. So good to see them kind of sharing time and sharing goal counts.
Fredericks with the shot there. O'Keefe with the backup. Oh, great check there. Purdue comes up with the ball off the turnover. Davenport with a nifty move. Moves it on to the attackman, Andrew Davison. Pavlik guarding him. Logan Smith with the ball here. Boilermakers leading goal scorer. He puts another one in. Wow, lefty. Unassisted there for Smith.
I think in that scenario, Josh, you really is a matchup again. You want to get your long stick defenseman on their top goal scorer, and if you're stuck with a shorty, no matter how good your short stick defensemen are, you need to be ready to slide to those when they're dodging full head of steam.
Definitely. I think we'll see potentially some adjustments here made by defensive coordinator Jack Pruitt on the Golden Bears. I'm sure he's seeing the same thing that we're seeing here. Smith seems to be their main dodging threat, main shot threat. I think one of the things I haven't been able to say very much is many shout-outs to the Purdue attack, and that's because I think the Cal defense and the close defense is doing a great job against their matchups. So I'd like to see probably that change in the midfield, and then I think the Bears defensively are in a pretty good spot. Score 7-2, and the Bears have it back. Brouwer with the shot right off the crossbar. Bagwell will take a go here. It's a slide. Feed inside by O'Keefe, unsuccessful. Bears will reset. Jar going to have another go. Shot is up and over the crossbar. The Bears seem to be exclusively shooting high against Janetta here. Wonder if that was part of the scout, Finn.
You know, it's always greater to be scoring top G's than down low, so it might be an aesthetic choice, but I would hope it's part of the scout.
Purdue forcing the turnover and clearing. They have numbers here in transition. Save there by Weeb. Off the shot by Meltzner. And gets it out to Schultz in transition. Can't handle it. There's a scrum for the ball in the middle of the field. Yamada comes away with it. Gets it to Fredericks. It's a great goose there. Get the ball away from pressure. And Bears will slow it down here a little bit. Second line midfield back on for the Bears. Salton with the ball now. Shot there, and he gets his own rebound. It's fast
Looking like
answer.
he's playing with a bounce back in the backyard.
Bear with the shot there. Sultan with it again on the backup. Gets it to O'Keefe. Finn, interesting fact here. Cole Sultan is a law student here at UC Berkeley. Wow. Shot there by Bear doesn't go in. The rebound is collected by Oace, and he scores his 4th of the day. It's a Texas-sized hat trick for Thor. Approximately continuing his goal every 5 minutes and 15-second pace.
Do you count that as an assist to Lucas Bear?
I don't know. It functioned as one. Once again, I think Thor's hockey background there it's proved very useful. I know in hockey, just getting pucks to the net, it's a key part of the game. You see there, just getting the ball somewhere in the vicinity of the goal. Thor is up to the task, collecting it and scooping it. Yeah, an extremely impressive pace that Thor is scoring at right now. We're approaching the 25th minute of game time, so if he wants to keep up his pace, he'll just need to put in another 1 to 2 before the end of the quarter. Oh, all right. Jaro wants to get in on the party, and he does. That's his 2nd goal of the day, unassisted down the wing. Both Oace and Jaro having great games right now. Oace with 4 goals, Jaro with 4 points, 2 assists, 2 goals there. And that will force a Boilermaker timeout with the score 9 to 2 here. Finn, I'm putting you back in the shoes of Purdue head coach Dan Somm here. You played pretty well coming out of the quarter, gave up 1 goal, and then had a pretty good defensive stand or two. Now things are starting to get back out of hand. What are you telling your guys here in the huddle?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you're down by a significant margin, it's really 1 goal at a time. Don't try to be a hero on any given possession, but really just work to continuously kind of build those up and get yourself back in the game. I would also say keep in your head, we're seeing a little bit more chippiness out of the Boilermakers in this 2nd quarter, and going man down is not a creative way to kind of cut into a lead here. I would also kind of say that, it's a testament to the Cal Bears and just the breadth of skill that they have on the offensive end. You can see the Boilermakers really shutting off Mo, number 22, with that pull, really trying to deny the look to him, and that's really allowing guys like Isaac Jaro and Andrew Bagwell to really take a lot of dodges and start creating offense on their end. So good to have kind of balanced playmakers across the board and be able to adjust to those defensive schemes that the Boilermakers are throwing at them. Also take a quick minute here to shout out Nick Beatty, who is dialed in on the stream. Getting text from him that I'm not showing him enough love. So thank you, Nick, for your ongoing support. Glad to have you here virtually.
For those of you who don't know Nick Beatty, you should. Cal Lacrosse legend, former number 4 Doug Shudo Memorial Jersey recipient.
We've had a really great string of goalies here at Cal. I think Coach Webster does a great job in recruiting and always kind of refreshing the roster with great keepers in the net. Cody Weeb has been stellar thus far this year, both in terms of goaltending as well as in the clearing game, and had an assist last week against Simon Fraser.
It's definitely the case, Finn. Our goalies have always been filling up the stat sheet here at Cal. Another thing to mention maybe is goalies are some of the most academic of the student athletes here on the Cal Lacrosse team. Nick Beatty, of course. Thank you for tuning in on the live stream. Nick is very busy in medical school, and so for him to take the time out of his day to join us, it's flattering. Cody Weeb is also no slouch academically himself. He was the recipient of the NCAA Nike Elite 90 Award which actually goes to the player with the highest GPA who's playing in a national championship. He earned that award while playing at Tufts. The highest GPA on that Tufts team was his. He owned it at 4.0. Hard to get higher than that. And he's now studying for his master's in mechanical engineering here at Berkeley. So, some stellar student athletes here in Cage for the Bears.
That's pretty impressive, Josh, but I have to say some of those private schools don't have the grade deflation working against them that you have at Cal. Shot and goal from the long pole there.
It's Davenport with the shot on that one. Snuck it right past Weeb.
It's reminding me of myself in practice against Nick Beatty, who we were just talking about. I used to carve him up in the goal. Always good to see a long pole getting some on the offensive end.
Something all defensive players can unite around is a defensive goal like that. I know that most keepers don't like seeing shots from poles. Finn, I feel like part of it must be just the loss in confidence that you get from being carved up by a pole. Part of it also is a different release point, of course.
Yeah, I think so. It's more difficult to track that ball coming out from a long pole, and usually they're not even hitting the cage, but when they do, it's a little bit harder for the goalie to keep an eye on.
Ambush coming here for the Boilermakers. Brower somehow comes away with it as we have gotten a sudden dumping of rain. Nice swim move there. Playing in the water. About 2.5 minutes left in this quarter. Bears are still man down. That's why you see the extra Boilermaker running around.
Yeah, you can see some of the aggression from them with the man up on defense. Really trying to push that double on the Bears.
Jaro with the shot there. Janetta with the save. Let's see if we can get another long pole goal here. Boilermakers will pull it out. Boilermakers are able to generate an advantage coming out of the substitution box there. Shot coming from around the goal there by Meltzner.
Nice GB from number 4, Ethan Pavlet. And a great look across field to Isaac Schultz.
More administrative adjustments to the shot clock here. It looks like a reset. Schultz is dangerous in transition, so I'm sure he had eyes big there. He's probably bummed that they had to reset the shot clock for that.
You know, he reminds me a little bit of Matt Lazanich, legendary LSM from way back in the day. Kind of an old man these days, but similar play style, pushing transition, and very scrappy on ground balls. Isaac Schultz is a big player for the Bears.
Shot there by Van Overberg. Still looking for his first tally of the day. Senior captain, attackman. Taking that shot there, not able to back it up are the Boilermakers. Salton will come away with it. A little sloppy here as the rain picks up. Looks like additional administrative adjustments to the shot clock here. Bayer will start with the top left. About a minute left in the quarter here. Finn, if you're Coach Webster, are you holding here for the last shot and coming up with some crafty offensive play to try and put one in before halftime?
Yeah, I think you want to kill some clock here and work for a great shot, not just going at it right away. But we've seen the Cal offense run some good tempo here, so there's a shot from Bear.
Right away. Not wasting any time. Maybe they're thinking two.
When you've got a face-off guy like Hale Brown, you might be able to think two in this scenario. Nice look. Thor couldn't get it in.
I think Thor heard us. Not keeping pace currently with the 5 minutes and 15 seconds per goal.
About 20 seconds for the Bears here.
Salton with it. Slide comes. Fredericks with it. Saved by Janetta. That's a great look there by Cole Salton. Finding Nate Fredericks on the crease. Oh, he finds him again. That's an assist there from Thor. And a goal there by Fredericks. Wow. Right at the end of the quarter, too. I see 8 seconds left on the clock.
Hey, still enough time for another one.
Do I need to put this down? You think I need flash? What? Flash. The only thing I'm concerned is the power trip right now. Alright, pull that over, going forward two.
That's Fredericks with his 21st goal of the season. Oace picking up a point there. That's 5 points for him. And that's the end of the quarter there. Cal with that late goal going up 10-3 going into halftime. We will take a quick break here while the teams do. Halftime here at Berkeley, 10-3 Bears. Welcome back to previously partly cloudy, now rainy Berkeley, California for the second half, Purdue versus Cal. Lining up here for the start of the second half, and what are some of the keys to the rest of this game for both teams?
Yeah, I think as we're having the rain come down, really focusing on those fundamentals. You know, when your stick gets wet, you can have the ball flying everywhere. And a big key early on was cutting down on unforced turnovers. That's all the more important in this environment. And I think for Cal, just continuing to press down on the gas pedal, not letting up. We saw last week Simon Frazier was able to kind of claw their way back up into the game in the second half before Cal eventually pulled away. Not allowing that to happen again, keeping the momentum in your favor is a big point of emphasis for these Bears.
Cal's working the ball around here. Jaro going to have a go. Brower with it. Gets a good look. Janetta with the save. Purdue will look to clear here. Pass all the way upfield. Purdue has numbers for now. Endicott with a good recovery there. We'd love to see the senior captain, Cooper Endicott, with the pole, sprinting out of the box. Coop has been described as the best communicator on the team. And you can see there he did well to recover and prevent a transition situation. Like you mentioned, Finn, elements potentially playing a factor here. Already a couple sloppy passes going back and forth. I think the teams will have to adjust and clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, and I think number 2, Joel, got a nice stick on that offensive player's hands while he's trying to make that pass. You know, it doesn't go on the stat sheet, but it helps force those turnovers and get the ball going the other way.
Sultan going to take a go here. Shot and save there by Janetta. Sultan and Weeb, both Tufts players. They were both named to all academic, all NESCAC teams in their times at Tufts. Let's turn over there. Dumont gets past 3 Boilermakers to clear that one. The Bears have made a switch at goalie. Number 1, Henry Link is in. Bear taking a go there. Burke with the shot. Bears get it back on the reset. Face dodge there by Bear. Saved by Janetta. Janetta's already got 3 saves here coming into the quarter. Just a couple minutes in. Shot there by Bear wide. Bear finds Sultan inside. Janetta with another save. Wow. Standing on his head out there. Transition opportunity wasted here for the Boilermakers. They had numbers, but throw it away. Pavlet picks it up. Oh. Scoots past Jaro on the clear scrum for it. And they'll get the Boilermakers for playing without a stick. Fredericks with the shot and goal.
Nice take
off the
there.
feed from Jaro. That was a great shot there, Finn. Great shot placement.
And good job by Freddie there, really kind of fading out into space, getting open, getting his hands free for that rollback from Jaro. Nice look and nice finish.
Got to give a lot of credit there to Jaro. He's dodging down the alley and has his head up, eyes up, looking for the cutting Fredericks there, who did well to finish it.
Yeah, that's what we like to see. You know, hard dodges, getting the defense moving, but being able to move it to the open guy rather than forcing a shot out of that dodge, that's where the great offense comes into play.
Brown wins it to himself. And now Curran trying to clear. Can't quite finish the job here, and the Boilermakers will come up with it. Robert Schenk with the ball. Meltzer moves it to Davison, who will take it behind. Dumont is guarding him. It's great defense there and a great double by Joel Yamada coming across the crease again. He's been doing that a lot today. And he's shoved out of bounds. Boilermakers will get the ball. in a way, that's actually potentially a better thing than having the ball be live, unsettled in the middle of the field there. So
Nice defense from Joel here, forcing his guy wide.
Logan Smith's with the ball. Curran meshed up against him. Curran is the Bears' defensive specialist, 2023 Rookie of the Year on this team. Schenk with the shot. Pardon, Meltzer with the shot. Goes wide. Dumont playing very solid defense there. Forces the turnover, gets it up. We were at practice on Wednesday, Finn, and Dumont was running the fastest in the conditioning.
Nice
And
look.
pays off there. Gets the ball down low to Fredericks, who finishes. Fredericks now has 3. Dumont with the assist there. That was a great hustle play by Dumont.
And really good to see him holding his own on the defensive end of the field. You know, people sometimes fall into their roles as an offensive or defensive midi, but to have the grit to be shutting guys down for Max, take the ball all the way up, and get a really nice look for the finish there from Fredericks is that's just great lacrosse.
Cal's had a long line of those defensive, offensive, anywhere on the field type of middies.
Yeah, we used to call them horses back in my day for the amount of running they were doing. Good to see that culture continuing.
Fredericks loses the ball there.
Purdue
Boilermakers
goalie
lose the
sails
ball
it out of bounds, reminiscent of Nick Beattie back in the day on a couple of those clears.
Fan, you and I both, like you mentioned, have had plenty of defensive possessions where have to jog back after Nick Beattie sails one out of bounds. See how the Boilermakers respond to this. You got to pick up your guy behind you. Wow.
Nate Fredericks trying to get some garbage in there, but stopped by the Purdue goalie.
Sultan
And we'll
with the
see
rip
him
there.
take it in from the out of bounds mark.
That was a really dangerous situation there. Boilermakers lucky that nothing came of it. Fredericks with a one-handed shot there. Going wide. That's a sneaky look there.
Some good creativity from number 6.
I can guarantee you these Boilermakers are probably huffing and puffing right now. And I know the most tiring defensive possessions are those right after a failed clear.
Short time. Nice look.
Shot clock violation there on the Bears. It's a great hold there by the Purdue defense. Hunter Escada on ball. Forces a turnover there. Cal gets it. That's a great ride there by Hunter Escada, who at practice this week was picking up a long pole actually for the first time. One of those guys stepping in, given the defensive injuries, Finn.
Yeah, a really great testament to the grit from the Cal Bears and just a team-first attitude from some of these guys that were previously offensive players, doing what they need to do to fill in and take charge of this defense for the Golden Bears.
40 Sultan with the dodge there. Gets it to Bear. Fredericks throws it to the wing. The ball goes out of bounds. It's a turnover. Bears will try and ride it back here again. Purdue with 2 straight failed clears. Let's see if they can get one strung together here. Janetta with it, quarterbacking, gets it to a pole in the middle of the field. Dangerous there. And the Bears will get it back again. It's the 3rd failed clear in a row for the Boilermakers. Dumont gets ambushed. Ball goes up to Smeltzner, and he'll wisely look to slow it down here.
Joel Yamada applying some pressure.
You like to see the Bears pressing out a little bit here. As long as they're not too aggressive, I feel like it's actually a pretty good strategy given how little these Purdue offensive players have had the ball. Sometimes it can be an easy way to force a turnover to get out on hands.
Yeah, and I think when you have this level of a lead built in late in the game, it's a good time to not sit back and be complacent and really get some reps in, being a little bit more aggressive on the defensive end of the field, see if you can create some takeaways, especially when the Purdue offense has really been kind of one-dimensional, not seeing a lot of feeds to the inside, guys really just kind of taking the ball, looking to score unassisted. We could see some more pressure from the Cal defenseman. We've got Cooper Endicott exchanged his long pole for a shorty in here for the Bears offense. Kid can do it all.
Next quarter, we may be seeing him in goal. I think I saw him selling popcorn earlier, too. Saved there by Janetta. Ball's down and pushed from behind. And too many men. Everything all at once here for the Boilermakers, and the ball will go back to Cal. Jarl will get it to Bagwell. Bagwell will have a go. Slide there from the Boilermakers.
Purdue bringing some pressure here.
Bagwell's a local product of Dublin High School. Gets it to Oace, who, after averaging a point per every 6 minutes in the first half, has been quiet. Turnover there. Boilermakers will get it back. Ryan Carr brings it over, gets it to Meltzner. And a timeout there, called by the Boilermakers. Two minutes, 57 seconds left in this quarter. Bears up 12-3. Boilermakers will talk things over.
You know, I think they've done a good job coming out of the half, had some good defensive stands, not letting up too much to the Cal offense. While a 9-goal lead may seem insurmountable, crazier things have happened, and Purdue will look to rely on that defense to hold things down and try to get something going on the offensive end of the field. I think for Cal coming out of this break, again, just really keeping the pressure up, both from the defensive end and offense, really working through their sets, working for that great shot. We've seen them stray a little bit away from that with some kind of one-man band action on the offensive end of the field. Would like to see them kind of reset their offense and really work through those sets and get back to what they were producing in the first half.
Like you mentioned, Finn, a lot of the Cal goals are coming off ball movement in that first half. I think that, to your point, we've been seeing a lot more of those dodges going down the alley. Would love to see the Bears get back to that. At this stage in the game, I'm sure Coach Webster is also thinking of some of the things that he and his team could potentially work on, and some of those fundamental areas, things potentially that we've been mentioning a lot of things that don't show up on the stat sheet. Are there any particular areas here, if you're the Bears, that you're really trying to dial in and focus on for the rest of this game?
You know, I think a big thing is just consistency across personnel. This is a good opportunity for Coach Webster to mix in some of those players that may have not gotten as many minutes earlier in the season, and just continuing to gel across the board, run through the offensive sets, run the defense the same way they have been, and just getting those guys meaningful game time reps, which is incredibly important as they go deeper into the season and potentially the postseason, where you'll need those legs across the board to be contributing.
Absolutely, Finn. And right away, I think you see a couple personnel changes here. Tyler Chrisman's in playing defensive mini. Hunter Escada, who we've been talking about a little bit, is in at pole playing LSM. And Davis Lubetsky is getting his first minutes of the day playing down close, number 43 on ball right now. Lubetsky's coming back from injury, so it's great to see him back out there. Unfortunately for the defense, they let one in there. Purdue, number 26, Ben Wemple scores his first of the season, getting that one past Link. Good shot, good score there for Purdue coming out of the timeout. Seems like they drew up a dodge there for Wemple.
Again, really another unassisted look from the Purdue offense. I think Cal can continue to try to deny that, forcing guys wide, and Purdue really hasn't tried to push the issue in terms of keeping their eyes up and looking for assists across the board. So we'll see if they make adjustments going into the fourth quarter.
Meltzner loses that one out of bounds. He goes to the Bears. Dumont will try and clear it up. Endicott will move it to Sultan, who sprints by his defender. Well, now we'll look to settle things up. Sultan will have a go. Bear with it. Gets inside. Save there. Amazing. Save there by Janetta. Wow. Cal will try to ride this one back. One of the things I think we saw in the Simon Fraser game last week is that Cal, when they're getting inside and trying to finish inside, sometimes they can rush things just a little bit. May have a little bit more time than they think. Bayer made a great move there getting inside. Finn, I'm sure you'd love to see him just take a half breath there and really fake low, shoot high, or move the goalie a little bit.
Yeah, you definitely want to take the extra half second to really find your placement there. But I think credit to Purdue, they've been laying bodies inside, and that may be playing a little bit of a mental game for the Cal offense, trying to get shots off a little bit quicker than they might want.
Definitely. Setting that mental precedent of if you come in the middle, you're going to get hit. That is definitely a non-trivial factor, especially you're playing almost at the end of the third quarter of this game here. Establishing that precedent early can definitely be beneficial for a team. Purdue trying to stretch here. Number 44, Owen Constant, the senior captain, climbs the ladder there to get that one. Get that one successfully cleared for the Boilermakers.
And Cal's been doing a good job all game of denying that two-man game on the clear where one clearing midi or pull is able to stretch and get a quick outlet pass. That one, they just had a little bit of a breakdown.
Link there trying to pull a Cody Weeb from last week. Throws it to a defender who almost pulls a long 80-yard goal. That just goes over the top of the crossbar. And that'll do it for the third. Sultan. Fourth is Cal Golden Bears 12, Purdue Boilermakers 4. Fourth quarter about to get underway here from Berkeley, California. Scores 12-4. Bears over Boilermakers. Ground ball to start the quarter. An infraction against the Boilermakers. The Bears will start with it. Bears getting the ball around here. It's a turnover, scooped up by the Boilermakers. Robert Shank coming down the sideline. Bears will look to clear here. Jaro runs it across. For those of you at home wondering, what is a Boilermaker? A Boilermaker, this is a fun fact here, it's actually one of two things. The first, which I think is the Boilermaker of Purdue, is Jaro scores there. Jaro with his third goal of the day to add to 3 assists. That's a great day for Jaro, 6 points so far. A Boilermaker is a worker who makes boilers, as you may guess, which may explain why Purdue's mascot is a train. I'm assuming it's a steam train, one that uses some type of boiler. If you look up Boilermaker online, you will also see that a Boilermaker is a type of American cocktail. It's a shot of usually whiskey combined with beer.
I think that sounds more scary than a person making boilers to me. Nice job from Joel bringing the pressure here.
Gives a whole new meaning to the strength of a Boilermaker. Bears looking to defend here. Purdue looking to dodge again from the wing. Logan Smith with it. Shot wide.
Good job by the Cal defense, keeping those Purdue Boilermakers outside, forcing them wide on the dodges.
It's great defense there from Joel Yamada. Shot there from Van Overberg, who's been quiet today. Shot there from up top. Boilermakers retain possession. Van Overberg misses on the doorstep. He's had a tough day today. And it's a turnover on the shot clock. Oace picks it up, moves it to Schultz, who gets it to Burke with the score. And just like that.
Great ball movement by the Bears there, capitalizing on that fast break opportunity.
Chris Burke becomes potentially the oldest player to score for Cal, breaking his own record from the first quarter. It's great defensive possession there, leading to great offense. That's Schultz's first assist of the year. Wolber with the infraction. Boilermakers will get it. Dumont on defense there. Ricochet. Chrisman picks it up. Outrunning a horde of Boilermakers. Dumont with it now. Great clear there by Chrisman.
I'm ready for the rainy season, dude.
Dumont will have a go. Bear with the shot. Outside. Burke will back it up. Face dodge there by Nate Fredericks. Gets top side, gets hacked. Takes a hit. Shot outside. The Bears immediately throw it away. Bears will look to ride now. Meltzner there with the nice ground ball. Completing the clear. Over the head check attempt by Yamada. This results in a shot that goes out of bounds. Boilermakers will retain possession. As the Bears set up this defensive possession, did want to give a special shout out to one of our viewers from afar, Jack Curran's grandpa. Number 12, Jack Curran's grandpa, Bob Curran, is calling in from South Florida, watching our live stream today. Wanted to wish Bob a very happy 92nd birthday. As a present, the Cal Golden Bears would love to get a win here. But a very happy birthday to Bob Curran. Back to Lacrosse. The Boilermakers still have the ball. Meltzner with the shot there. Goes wide. Good lift there by Schultz, who nods his head. Yamada matched up against Van Overberg. Cal defense has had the best of the senior captain today. That pass goes out of bounds. The Bears will pick it up. Oasis will start with it. Gets the ball to Schultz, who's running in transition. Once again, dangerous in transition is Schultz. Pulls it back out to Brower. Jaro will have another go here. Shot. Janetta with the save. Isaac Jaro with the dodge. Nice pump fake there. Shot. Ooh, wide. What a pump fake there from Isaac Jaro. Very witty play from a witty player. He is a chemistry major in College of Chemistry here at UC Berkeley. Said it last week, I'll say it again. It's one of the best colleges of chemistry in the world at one of the best institutions in the world. Brower survives. A couple swipes to his face. Moves it up top. Burke will collect this one. Bears with about 30 seconds left on the shot clock. Charo taking another dodge here. Gets topside. Hits the pipe. That'll be another reset of the shot clock there.
We'd like to see the Bears kind of burn this shot clock off, eat up some time while preserving the lead, and look for a shot later in the possession.
Oace gets it to O'Keefe. Pulls it back out. Matched up against the short stick. O'Keefe will have a go here to Burke. Shot, goal. It's a great shot there by Chris Burke, giving him a hat trick. And again, breaking his record for the oldest Cal player to score a goal that he just set about 5-10 minutes ago. Great feed there by O'Keefe as well. Score is now 15-4 Cal, and I think, Finn, at this point, one of the things that the Bears are looking to do is to make sure that they get all of their guys as many reps as possible. You mentioned game time situation reps. A lot of that will be in preparation for their matchup next week, which will be a highly anticipated matchup. The Bears this week are 15th ranked, and they will be playing next week number 2 Georgia Tech on Friday night, followed by a matchup with UT Austin, the number 10th ranked team in the nation, on Sunday. It's going to be an exciting matchup for the Bears there, and I guess going into at the end of this game, going into that game, what type of momentum are you looking to build if you're Ned Webster here? What type of things are you looking to put in to get your team some confidence heading into those two really big matchups?
Yeah, I think you just got to keep learning, keep building, and keep playing the way you've been playing. We saw the Bears a couple weekends ago take number 3 Chapman down to the wire. Unfortunately, weren't able to walk away with the W in that game, but I think that serves as a good confidence builder that they can hang in there with anyone in the nation. Last time we played Georgia Tech was in the 2019 MCLA tournament. Actually, that's not true, but the last time that I played Georgia Tech was there.
Me as well.
That game really came down to the wire with the Bears walking away with an overtime W, and would love to see that same energy and ultimate victory out of the Bears next weekend.
Cal players slow to get up here. That's Bayer, who sort of got hit after the play. It looks like the referee's called a hold. Number 44, Owen Constant for Purdue, is not happy about it, but he will have to live with the consequences. Coach Webster giving the Purdue goalie Janetta some props for standing in there all game. It's been a long day for him, but he's definitely done his best to hold his own. Turned away quite a few shots today. He's playing well. Bears will get it back here on the restart. O'Keefe starting with it in the corner. Brower with the dodge. Moves it to X, gets it to Burke, to Sultan. Topside move. Shot there. He lost his footing, it looked like, on that one.
Nice job by Morgan getting the defense moving and then banging the ball through X to get that second redodge look for the shot there. It's just good fundamental lacrosse.
Sultan does not lose his footing on that one. Scores a lefty goal there. Sultan has been described by Coach Webster as, I quote, ambidextrous, and also as having a, quote, cannon. To high praise compliments for any offensive player.
It's good to see him continually getting dialed in here for the Bears. It seems he's been improving in each game, kind of getting back into the groove of it, and I think he'll be a big playmaker for the Bears as this season progresses.
Wolber wins that faceoff, getting the ball then to Ari Normand, who moves it down to Fredericks. I think, Finn, one of the things that you're saying is in some of those plays and things that don't go on the stat sheet, visible on that faceoff there is a great box out by Jack Curran, whose grandpa we mentioned is turning 92 today. And way to get open there by Ari Normand, and a great clear. Boilermakers scoop that one up. It's a shot by Hayberger, senior captain for the Boilermakers, trying to get in on the same action that Davenport got in on earlier. Unsuccessful attempt there. Logan Smith with the ball here. He's dangerous. Link corrals it. Bears will look to clear. Brower with a nifty pickup there on the ground ball, directing traffic. Gets the ball to O'Keefe. That was a slick play there from Morgan.
Good to see him making plays all over the field. He's a great offensive playmaker, but contributing on the ground balls, the clearing game, the riding game. Just a really solid all-around player for the Bears.
Definitely one of the quickest guys on the team, too. Oh, Cole Salton loses his man. Almost puts another one in past Janetta, but Janetta able to stop that one. Just under 4 minutes left in the game. Boilermakers will clear. Meltzer with the save, or with the shot. Link with the save, gets it right up to Salton. He's now running in transition. Gets it to Fredericks, face dodge. Oh, just misses. O'Keefe with the backup. Oscar Livingston with his first minutes of the game. Getting ambushed. Losing the ball there. Boilermakers will settle things down here, try and get their settled offense going. Purdue's next game will be against Sonoma State. Boilermakers, I believe, are making a California trip for their spring break. Hopefully for them and for all of us Bay Area residents, this rain will let up a little bit so they can have a nice sunny game and the rest of us can have a nice sunny weekend. O'Keefe with the goal.
Nice look again by Schultz in transition there. The Boilermakers must have read the scout that he's a shooter and are setting guys early, open up those assist lanes for him.
Schultz with his second assist of the day there. I think he's really taken that scout and using it against the Boilermakers. Breaking tendencies.
Always good to be changing the pace out there.
Some fresh faces out here for Purdue as well from their deep bench. There's 32, Brady Williams is going to be lining up on the wing. We haven't seen him before. He seems confused. Now we'll set up, okay. Boilermakers are facing off man down here. Van Overberg doing more time in the sin bin. Senior captain seems very frustrated today and has made more waves in the penalty box than on the stat sheet. It's always frustrating having those games. Always with it, the shovel shot there. Looks like another infraction of some kind on Purdue.
Looks like there'll be 2 men down. Cal playing 6-on-4 on offense. Like to see them burn a little bit of clock here, hold the ball, but you never know what might happen.
About a 25-second difference, game clock, shot clock here. Burke will bring it in. No look pass to Dumont. Tipped pass there. Bears will get the ball back. Burke quarterbacking, finds Dumont on the crease. Great find there by Chris Burke. Chris Burke having a good day. 3 goals, 1 assist for him. Dumont, his first goal of the day to go with his 1 assist. That'll pretty much do it here in Berkeley. I think a comeback by the Boilermakers is probably not in the works today. A little less than a minute left here. Wolber lining up for the face. An infraction here against Wolber. Ball will be awarded to Purdue. Shank with it now. Curran matched up against him. Chrisman now on defense against the biggest offensive threat for the Boilermakers, Logan Smith, who has been held pretty quiet since the first quarter, more or less. Smith will have another go here. Shoots sort of a desperation off-balance shot in the direction of the goal. 11 seconds left in the game here. Another heave towards the goal there by Meltzner. 4 seconds left. Bears will do their best not to let one in here. Ball is dropped there by the Boilermakers, and that'll do it. Final here in Berkeley. Cal comes away with an 18-4 win versus the Purdue Boilermakers. Finn, any closing remarks to put the bow on this one?
You know, good game. Just get a lot of guys seeing a lot of time, work through some schemes on offense and defense, and we'll look ahead to some more challenging tests next weekend against Georgia Tech in Texas. But I think these Cal Bears are up to the challenge.
Bears looked great today, putting away these visiting Boilermakers. Like Finn said, I'm sure they'll be amped up and ready to go for next week's big-time matchups against Georgia Tech in Texas. Thank you all so much for joining us from across the country for today's broadcast in rainy Berkeley, California. This is Josh Chen and Finn Mayer signing off. We'll see you next week. Go Bears.
Go Bears, and shout out to Jake Lombardo.